If your house doesn't smell like the holidays yet, Paisley and I are here to help change that. Today, we're going to show you how to transform a simple pecan into something that's going to become an instant holiday classic in your household. Stick with us, and we're going to show you how. So one of the greatest gifts that I have ever gotten, besides my little family here, was a handwritten booklet of family recipes from my mom. Now, that's your Grandma Warren. She is right over there in every single one of our episodes. Now, my mom taught me to cook, and the holidays were always extra special because she was always in the kitchen cooking up something spectacular, either for us or to give away as gifts. So today we're going to do exactly that. We're going to show you, our shoe chefs, how to make candied pecans just like Grandma Warren, but more importantly, something that not only can you bless your family with, but you might be able to bless others with. That is the spirit of the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas. So we're going to show you again how to transform a simple little pecan into something that I have some of my favorite childhood memories eating around this time of year. You ready to wash your hands and get in the kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this thing. All right, so now that we're in the kitchen, the first couple of steps that we need to do are preheat our oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Once that is started, we're gonna move over and grab a sheet tray. We're gonna put a sheet of parchment down on top of it. This will be our landing zone for our candied pecans so they can hit the oven. Now, if you struggle, like we do sometimes, with a random sheet of parchment paper torn off at a really crazy angle, because things can be difficult sometimes, a great way to get your parchment paper to sit nicely on a sheet tray without rolling up like a scroll is to crumple it up. Paisley, can you help me crumple up the parchment paper?
Yep, I know how to do that.
Yes, you do. Crumpling it up. So once it's crumpled up, you can unravel it and then force it down into your sheet tray, and it'll seat a little bit nicer without jumping all over the place. Thanks, Paisley.
You're welcome.
Now that our landing zone is prepared, we're going to get the rest of our mise en place together. Now, if you're looking for the recipe, as with all of our other videos here in our library, the recipe, the method, and the equipment list will all be in the description below. So this recipe is going to come together really quickly with 9 ingredients. We're going to need white sugar, brown sugar, cinnamon powder, ground ginger, salt, of course. And why do we need salt, Paisley?
To balance the sweetness.
Exactly, to balance the sweetness. We're going to need 1 egg white. We'll also need some vanilla, a little bit of water, and our pecans. Now that we have all of our ingredients ready, we're going to do this in a couple of stages. We're going to first take our wet ingredients, so our vanilla, our water, and our egg white. We're going to get them into a bowl together. We're going to take a nice whisk, and we're going to whisk this as hard as we can, staying in control, to add air to the egg whites. We're going to whip these until they're almost a stiff peak, which you can see here means that the egg white is actually forming a point without falling off or dripping off of our whisk. This will take a couple of minutes, as long as you're doing it consistently, trying to get as much air into it as possible. This will foam up, and this is going to help us coat our candied pecans in all the sweet, sugary ingredients. Now that we have our egg white mixture ready, we're going to move into a different bowl. We're going to add our dry ingredients, including our cinnamon powder, our ginger powder, our salt, and our sugars. Here we're going to mix them together so that way they're nice and even. That way all of the spices are through all the sugar. The salt's in there too. Now that we have our dry sugar and spice mix ready to go, we're going to grab our pecans. Now for this recipe, we are going to use raw, unsalted, whole pecans. The reason we're choosing this type of pecan, again, not roasted and not salted, is so that way we have control over both of those things. We're going to eventually roast our pecans with all of these ingredients on them in an oven, so we don't want pre-roasted, otherwise they will go over and burn and burnt. Pecans taste really, really gross. We also want to be able to control our salt. A lot of times when you buy pecans or any type of nut in the store, They are heavily salted. We want to be able to control the salt here so that way it balances out our sugar. So now that we've got our whole pecans, we're going to take and we're going to add them into our egg white mixture bowl. Take a spatula and we're going to gently fold our pecans into the egg whites. Now, folding is a very classic kitchen technique where you take and gently, using a spoon or a spatula, scoop in underneath your ingredients, pick them up, turning your wrist over so that way the ingredients from the bottom come up gently to the top. You're going to turn the bowl and you're going to do it again, and you're going to keep repeating this process, gently folding things together until all of your ingredients are incorporated. All of the pecans here are coated with the egg white, vanilla, and water mixture, so that way it will be able to hold on to as much of our sugar and spice mix here in a second. Once we've properly folded our pecans into the egg white mixture, then we're going to take and we're going to add the cinnamon and sugar and salt ginger mixture on top of it. We're going to repeat the folding process here. We're going to mix from the bottom to the top gently, coat everything together. This is our one chance to season all of the nuts before it goes into the oven, so we want to make sure we do it proper. Thanks, Paisley, for helping. Now that we have our spiced nuts ready to go, we need to candy them. In order to do that, we actually need to cook them. So we're going to take our parchment lined sheet that we did earlier. We're going to pour the nuts out onto the parchment paper and we're going to spread them out into a single layer. We're going to do our best here to make sure that the nuts aren't stacked on top of each other, so that way they will cook evenly and we don't have spots that are kind of undercooked or a little bit too wet. Once we've got those all spread out, we're going to move into our oven. We preheated to 300 a little bit earlier. We're going to put them in the middle rack, and we're going to bake these roughly between 30 minutes to 45 minutes. That time range will depend upon how hot your oven runs and how well you have the pecans spread. About roughly every 10 minutes or so, we're going to open the oven and gently stir the nuts around so that way each side can kind of get roasted evenly, making sure that nothing's sticking too much, making sure that we don't scorch if our oven has some hot spots. Now you can see here, this is what they look like when they first went in. Here it is after our first 10 minutes. Here it is after about 20 minutes. Here it is at about 30 minutes. Now we're getting really, really close here. So we're going to take it for just a little bit longer. We're looking for a nice crust to be formed, for the nuts to really smell roasty and toasty, but they're also going to smell with sugar and spice. How do those smell, Paisley?
Good.
They smell great, and our house smells exactly like my childhood. They smell as if Mom were here right now cooking these things to give away to our family. I can't tell you how much I love this smell, and I'm so glad I get to do this with you, Paisley. Once they've roasted enough and you're satisfied with where they're cooked to, we're going to bring them up out of the oven, turn our oven off, and then we're going to take that parchment paper and we're going to carefully move it off of the sheet tray onto our countertop. So this is a really important step to make sure that we don't overcook our pecans that we've worked so hard to make perfect. The heat from the sheet tray and the heat that's loaded up into the pecans from roasting is going to continue to cook these. This is called carryover cooking, and it's the exact same thing that happens when we cook a piece of meat like our chicken. If you want to know more about what that looks like, go ahead and check out our seared chicken episode, and we'll link that in the description for you too. Now, these nuts will take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to cool down enough where you can eat them without scorching the inside of your mouth. We need to be patient, even though I don't want to be, because these smell really good.
A few moments later.
We want to wait so that not only has a chance to cool down, but the crust on the outside, that candy shell that we've created through the roasting, is going to help set, and that's going to give you that really nice little crunch when you go in to eat a handful or 3 of these. And just like that, we have candy pecans just like Grandma Warren used to make. I can't wait to hear how much you enjoy them too. Please drop down in the comments when you make these and let us know how they turned out. We would love to hear your favorite childhood memory of cooking with your parents or your grandparents. or even your friends in the kitchen during the holidays. We've got tons more family recipes in this little booklet that we can't wait to share with you too. If you want to see more, because again, on filming this, it is just a couple of weeks until Thanksgiving. We only have a small amount of time before the holidays pass us by. So if there are specific holiday recipes that you want to see Paisley and I and Xander and I do, let us know. Whether it's cranberry sauce, pumpkin pie, perfectly cooked turkey, gravy, especially to go with our mashed potatoes, any of those things, let us know and we'd be happy to work that out. So Paisley, thanks for the help. Love you, sweetheart.
I love you too.
Till the next one, we'll see you.
Bye-bye! I did it!
Yes, you did.